Have you ever just gone to the store, kind of looked at the old games that they were selling there, and then just picked one, you know, based on title and cover art alone? Well, the other day I did that, and I ended up buying a game called Sneaky Snakes. Now, Sneaky Snakes, it's actually a sequel to a game called Snake, Rattle, and Roll that came out for the NES. And Sneaky Snakes, it's for the original Game Boy. Now, I just looked at the cover art, it looked kind of interesting, and I had heard that this was a platformer with like a side-scrolling viewpoint, whereas Snake, Rattle, and Roll had more of an isometric viewpoint. And you know, I'm a pretty big platformer fan. I thought, okay, why not? You start out as playing as Attila the Snake, and you just walk around, you're a snakehead, and the objective of the game is to go around eating enemies until you get enough balls, I guess, because you're a snake entirely made of balls, until you get enough so that when you step on a scale at the end of the level, the gate opens and you can proceed. Now, all of the enemies in the game that you can eat, they're balls as well. So you've got your fish balls, you've got your bat balls, you've got your water droplet balls, you've got your spinny propeller hat balls. You've got all sorts of enemies in each level that you have to get. And once you've eaten enough, you'll hear a noise go off. All of a sudden, your snake guy will start flashing, and then you'll know to start proceeding towards the scale at the end of the level. Now, the only bummer to this, if you manage to get enough balls, but you fall into lava, you land on spikes, nothing happens. You're safe. But if you get hit by an enemy, then you'll lose one of the balls, and you'll have to go back, collect more enemies until you regain that lost health. So that's a little annoying. Basically, each level is really similar. So you'll go around eating enemies, and there's also manhole covers, which you just walk up to, you press B, the same button you use to whip out your tongue and eat enemies, and something will come out. Sometimes it's a bomb, which that hurts you. You'll lose a ball for that. Sometimes it's an enemy that you can eat, so that's nice. There's power-ups, which, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what most of the power-ups do, but I'm pretty sure the diamond makes you invincible for a while. And sometimes you'll find a warp zone, which will take you to some kind of like little bonus stage, where there's more enemies, usually not enemies, there's items to collect, and you can help boost yourself. In addition, there's also a timer on the bottom of the screen that slowly counts down. And along the way, you can pick up clocks, which will add time to your timer. But once that timer reaches 0, you start hearing this chopping noise, like a whooshing noise, and then an axe appears. And if that axe touches you, you die instantly. So not only is it kind of terrifying, I mean, the first time it appeared and I heard that noise, I was a little scared, but it gives you incentive to try to finish the levels quickly. Most levels, or at least the levels that I got to, have some sort of enemy generator in the middle, which that's helpful if you want to camp out, try to eat enough enemies so you can complete the stage. But a lot of the time it also dispenses bombs as well, so you kind of got to watch out, otherwise a lot of the damage that you take will actually set you further back than you intended to. There's two types of enemy colors. There's white enemies and then there's dark enemies. White enemies will give you twice as many points as dark enemies. I also found that the jumping controls were pretty weird in the game. Like, you'll press A to jump, and then all of a sudden it gets really floaty. Like, all of a sudden, Attila the Snake switched off the gravity of the entire planet, and you're just kind of floating around. So that's kind of nice. I mean, for mid-air controls, it's easier to land on stuff. It's not like Castlevania, where once you've jumped, you've dedicated yourself to one direction. But a lot of the time, it's kind of annoying. There's also enemies that you can eat, like there's a jumping mushroom, there's like a bear trap / clamshell guy, where if he hits you, you start to flash, so you know, like a Mario game, you're invincible for a little bit, but you can't jump on him, so oftentimes that causes you to get hurt more, because you're trying to jump on him and you'll just take more damage. But you can just jump on them, kill them, that's pretty easy as well. A lot of the deaths you'll get from the game, though, are from falling into lava or spikes, and then afterwards you start off like on the edge of the platform, sometimes like in midair, right above the lava where you fell, and you'll just keep falling. So for every 1 life you lose, you're probably gonna end up losing 3 more from that same cause, so that's kind of annoying. But speaking of lives, the game gives you a ton of lives. You get 3 lives to start with, and once you run out of those, you get to continue. Then once you run out of those, you get another continue, and you get like a lot of continues. I think you get at least 3. The game is a pretty good difficulty level. You've got the timer with the axe that starts attacking you once you run out of time. You've got bombs. You've got all of these enemies that you can eat that stand in your way once you're ready to complete the level and the actual end. And you've also got pretty good platforming, pretty good jumps. Although some of the jumping, as aforementioned, is pretty hard. I'd give this game about 6 out of 10, just because it's fairly entertaining, there's good platforming, there's good difficulty, which that'll help me keep coming back. And for a game that I just randomly chose, I think it's pretty good. I ended up choosing a couple other games, but if you ever see this at a store, you get the chance to play it, I'd go for it, because it's only $4. Spent $4 on it. Yeah, it was a steal. And yeah, Sneaky Snakes.